Hi, I'm Bob Ryan. This is Globe 10.0. With me today is Chad Finn. Well, Chad, once upon a time, our New England Patriots were scoring 30 points a game with great regularity. In fact, on the verge of setting a record for doing so. In the last 3 games, 57 points total. What's going on?
I think it's a case the last 2 weeks anyway. I'm not sure about Dallas's defense, but I think it's a case the last 2 weeks of running into defenses that just happen to match up very well with them.
Okay, defenses that have been able to figure out how to combat this passing game. Our colleague Greg Bedard had a very eloquent story today in which he talks about execution, and that the personnel isn't just that they don't have the personnel that maybe people think they should have, but it's do you concur that execution that with these people, if they do it right, they can still score some points?
Yeah, I agree with that, although I think it's starting to take a 2009 shape here where if the opposition has a guy who can stay with Welker one-on-one, and if you have a linebacker who can run a little bit and a little bit of safety help to deal with Gronkowski, who's pretty hard to stop, but he's really option 1A right now. If you can deal with those two guys, the Patriots don't have much else.
Let's get right to the most unpleasant topic possible. The conceivable mortality of Tom Brady. Tom Brady yesterday did not connect with receivers who were open at times, which could have changed the course of the game. And this is not the first time we have seen this in the last 3 weeks. Would you agree?
I would agree.
What's the speed?
34 years old. I don't think that's it, though. I think.
Well, what is it?
There's a history here with Brady where we find out about injuries after the fact. I think that's
a good point.
The broken ribs a couple of years ago, something with the shoulder, being on the injury report since he was at Michigan with the elbow. That's always my first guess when Brady's off. But there's going to come a point where he's in his mid-30s where it's not that anymore.
No, it's not there. And this happens with great players. They still have it at times. Older, or aging players. I don't care what sport it is. They still have it at times. But it's not there with the great regularity that it once was, and it was evident. It's been evident that he's not as reliable anymore. You can't count on it. You just can't until further notice. And there were times when he could have put the ball with people. Even Ocho Cinco, one of those 5 mishaps was Brady's fault. Wasn't Ocho Cinco's?
Which one? Was it the one in the
end zone?
Yeah.
That was his fault.
It was.
And then that was called out. It was called out by Chris Carter on radio this morning, and I have to agree with that. Anyway, offense was going to bail them out, folks. They were going to win these 35-30 games. That's how they're going to survive. It's not there right now. It's going to be a very interesting last 8 games of the season.